what's up, everybody? Daniel Kaiser here on the GT stage at E3 2010 with Isaac Clarke himself from Dead Space 2 and Steve, the executive producer on the game. We are taking a look at the game with hands-on demo starting right now. Steve, first and foremost, thanks for joining us. And tell us about debuting this game at E3. What's it been like for you guys?
Thanks a lot, Daniel. It's been great showing off the game here at the show. It's awesome to get a chance to let people see it and see their reaction and show off the work the team's doing. It's been fantastic.
Scared out of their pants is probably the reaction, right? So what's it been like?
Well, there's been a few times while we've been demoing it where I've actually seen guys go, and kind of jump, which has been really good. It's good to see because I know people are really concerned that the game's scary still, which it absolutely is. It is scary, so we want to make sure that that's still there. And it's just been really, really cool seeing everybody's reaction, and I think it's been positive.
We saw the first gameplay during the GTTV pre-E3 special, and obviously you guys are looking to amp this whole thing up. Dead Space was a huge success, but what are you bringing to the formula now to make it even more so?
Well, I think what we're really focusing on is remembering what made the first game really special for people. You know, I think it would be silly for us to go away from those things that people enjoyed. So what we're trying to do is evolve them and make them better. And that stems all the way from the controller, making sure that it's very easy to pick it up. It feels good as soon as you start playing. We've made Isaac over there more responsive. We've enhanced his kinesis so it's actually really valuable during combat. And of course, we've enhanced his arsenal of tools. He'll have a whole bunch of new tools to use. And of course, our Zero-G has been totally expanded now, allowing Isaac to actually move in full 360-degree range within the game world.
And tell us how that changes the gameplay mechanics and some of the puzzles and things that might be in the game.
Sure, so with the Zero-G changes, what that allows us to do is create puzzles and activities that actually require more precise maneuverability so that you're actually kind of sneaking through areas, snaking by hazards, things like that, where in the previous game, you were just doing point-to-point jumping. Now you can actually move up, down, left, right. You're actually hovering in space. You know, with Isaac's new jets on the back of his engineering suits, you're able to actually propel yourself through the environment. And there's also a thrust button, so if you want to move a little bit quicker, you can do that too. And while you're hovering there, you can actually have combat now, which is totally different than the first game.
Absolutely. Now the immersion factor in Dead Space obviously is a huge deal. I have multiple friends and people in the industry that say they were scared and almost had to turn it off with the first game. Continuing that with this game, pacing-wise, talk a little bit about that in terms of making sure that you provide the action, but also blend in those survival horror elements.
So on the previous game, that was one of the things that we really took seriously. It's a full team effort in order to ensure that the pacing of the game, you know, turned out the way it did, right? Like, you not only had the designers who had to place the enemies and create the level designs, but you had the lighters that had to, you know, do their craft to make sure an area looked a certain way to set you up for a scare or enhance the tension. And of course, the art, the engineering, all those elements, it's a full team effort, the audio, all those things play so heavily into it. On Dead Space 2, you know, we learned a lot in the first game. We're going to continue down that same path, but we're going to do it even better. And we're going to make sure it really scares people, keeps them on the edge of their seats, but we're also going to have some really badass sequences that are going to blow people away, we hope.
Insane enemies, another part of Dead Space. How have you pushed the envelope even further this time with the necromorphs and everybody else that you're going to encounter?
Well, given that the Sprawl is on Titan, one of the moons of Saturn, and it's actually a fully thriving city, it gives us the opportunity to have a bigger diversity of enemies. If you think about the first game, you're on the Ishimura. It's all pretty much adults except for, you know, the lurker babies that you came across. So in Dead Space 2, you're actually going to encounter a wider range of enemies. For example, the Pack that you'll see in the demo. You know, you also got to see the Tripod, he's new, and the Puker. I mean, those, just to name a few, are new. And then also, given that there's so many different jobs and types of things for people to do on the Sprawl, there's even more variety in the stock slasher enemies. So you'll see like zealots that are wearing robes. You'll see some slashers that are twisted around horribly. So we're really mixing it up, and we're going to deliver a wider range of enemies for everybody. Plus, we'll still continue to have those grotesque bosses that we had the last time.
Absolutely. It's great to talk about it, but it's better to see it in action. So why don't you walk us through exactly what we're seeing in this hands-on demonstration right now?
Sure. So here's a little glimpse of Zero-G, like I was talking about. There's these coffin loaders that are actually moving down coffins, and then they're being fed down to the crypt area that was happening earlier. And as you can see, Isaac's able to move, you know, freely throughout this area. You see him in his classic mining suit there. So, you know, now he's just used stasis to kind of get through that little puzzle bit. There are these chomper blades that would have snapped him in half. And so now he's landing, and you know, that's just one little example of how the navigation has changed. And that one, it was more of a navigation puzzle with some light puzzling around the stasis element. So right there's just a quick little example of that. Here we're approaching one of the stores that people may be familiar with from the original game, and now we're going to get to see Isaac actually put on the advanced suit, which we see Isaac over there wearing. So this has been really fun. All of the suits, all the helmets will actually have unique animations like you'll see here. And you know, it was a big change. It's another one of those subtle differences that we put into the game to make sure it really feels like an epic sequel, something different, right? We don't want to rest on our laurels. We always want to push ourselves and do better because we know how expensive and how games are important to people, and we want to make sure that we deliver something that's worth everybody's effort, their money, their time, and we really hope we're going to nail that with Dead Space 2.